That's new to me too. Um, Everybody's got their things. I've already talked to Brian about it. So yeah, no, I haven't had that before.
You talked to him about it. You don't kind of discourage him that, or you?
No, I'm just like, Brian, come on, man. There's a line in the sand. Let's not cross it.
But as far as the energy though that came out, I know your ejection seemed to kind of get things going. The game was chipping. You kind of like to see that energy aspect of it. How do you think that could possibly motivate, fuel this team a little bit, maybe moving forward?
Yeah, I thought, and I knew it. I told our coaching staff this, back in December and January. Like, I knew the Kennesaw game was going to be. I had it circled on our schedule as a trap game. We're coming off a 4-game road trip. Going to be getting in late. Knew then we were going to have to get right back on a bus, drive over to Kennesaw, play a team that wants to beat us. And you look, and they threw the majority of their top guys yesterday, minus their Friday and Saturday guy. And so we knew they were going to come at us. We came out a little flat. And yeah, we needed something to get going. And then it got pretty chippy and so forth and so on. And so, yeah, I mean, those kind of things come out in games like that.
And I know you said after the game that wasn't your initial intent, but once the opportunity presented itself, was it like, okay, let's
I still, even at that point, wasn't trying to get tossed. I was just pretty upset with a few things. They didn't have replay.
Right.
I thought the first, I don't think now, I mean, I've gone back and watched the first play of the game. The young man was out. McCarthy, whatever that was, in the third or fourth inning, I can't remember. He's running the first on his. He was safe, got called out. But, I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, there's no replay. So, things just were kind of building at that point, and then, just.
Let me ask you, first 5 games, you really been able to use pretty much all of your pitchers, except maybe for a couple of the freshmen. How important has that aspect been to get those guys out there, kind of get them going, and give you an opportunity to kind of see what they can do under game conditions? Yeah, no, very excited with that. Still got a little disappointed I haven't got a couple guys in that I wanted to get in that had good preseasons. They'll get in, hopefully this weekend. So there's still a couple more guys we want to look at that I'm pretty high on. But it's always been good when you can get to an early start. I think we've thrown 18 guys now through 5 games, and just gives you a chance to have a good feel for what you can do, how you can match up. We got to clean up some things with those guys, but it's for the most part they attack the strike zone with pretty good stuff. Getting Black back in at second base, can they add the left-handed bat in the lineup too? I know he's kind of been a little frustrated for him, kind of building back up, getting him to play. How good was it to see that from him yesterday?
Yeah, that's the guy we recruited out of the portal, right? I mean, as you guys know, covering us through the fall and different things. He had a little hand thing in the fall. We got that ironed out, but he missed the fall, the majority of it in our mind, and then came back. And anytime you miss time, especially taking at bats and seeing it takes a little while. I thought his last weekend of preseason scrimmages, we were starting to see the Ryan Black that we saw right before the hand thing in the fall, and then it was just time this past.
You've talked about how you think the freshmen are going to make a big impact this year. You've seen it a little bit so far. What gives you confidence that they can succeed?
Yeah, you look. I mean, Bryce Clavon comes up last night. I mean, a freshman. Not scared. None of them are. I don't think are scared of the moment. It's too big for them. They've all played, in different settings, and Kate Brown got in this past weekend. Some big hit his first ball. Probably if we're not playing there, I'm not saying it would have been a homer, and instead, wasn't. But he's been there. Eric Parker's been in some situations to run. I mean, those are guys that you look up, and hopefully this time next year, they're contributing every single day, and they're a big part of what we're doing.
Ask you about Nolan just real quick. Had that dive, we made a dive. Did he get banged up or something, like the wind out a little bit?
Yeah, just a little banged up. Plus, cold, and he was banged up just a tick. And it's, as you know, we got 51 more regular season games left.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to take a chance with him last night. It was starting to get cool. The ground, there was a lot of dew on the ground. The footing wasn't as good, and lights were whatever, and I didn't want to take a chance with him.
We're 5 games into the season right now. Obviously, it's the biggest transfer class in the SEC. How would you say these guys have meshed so far just as a team, and going forward, do you think there's still chemistry to build on?
Oh yeah, you always have chemistry. I mean, it never, it's like anything else, man. It should never stop, right? So yeah, but as of 5 games in, we've meshed fine. I mean, I think that, quite frankly, gets blown out of proportion. You look at what happens in the big leagues. Teams go on. Trades are made in August, and locker rooms have been completely flipped. And then they got 2 months, and they really got a month and a half, and they go on and win a division, or go on and win playoff games, win a World Series, or whatever. So I think there's a lot that's, quite frankly, in just my opinion, is overrated in that. Like bringing in all these guys, they haven't. No, I mean we've had a whole fall together. We've had a whole 6 months together. So hopefully we've started to gel.
What have you seen as to the player that Paul Farley's going to be for y'all this year?
Oh yeah, I think Paul's going to. I thought he threw the ball well, especially for his first college outing on last Friday, and he's got to get better at some things. He's got to cut down on his walks. But all in all, we know Paul competes. We know the moment's not going to get too big for him. I don't expect him to get so nervous he can't compete. I guess I'll say that. But Paul's going to pitch a lot for us and pitch a lot in big moments.
How do you think the schedule changes now with the cancellation of Thursday and then now a doubleheader on Friday? How does preparation change?
But what do you look for just over these first couple of weeks? Just, obviously you spent time with these guys in the fall and through preseason practice, but what did you just want to kind of learn about them personality-wise as a unit playing in that kind of environment?
Yeah, I think, I'll be honest with you on that one is I think we still got to learn. I think the conditions were so tough this weekend, we really still don't know about a couple guys. I mean, you really had to play your defense, which is something we don't do a lot. We play a lot of offense, but when conditions are like that, one fly ball that's misread or not caught, and that's the game, in those kind of environments. And so we really stuck with a true defensive lineup for us for the weekend, and so I think there's still a lot to be learned. Yeah, you want to see how they react in moments like last night when you're behind. We've still got a lot to learn about this club, and they still got a lot of improving to do.
Obviously, everybody's been talking about Brian's, what happened at the end of the game. Just him being a bullpen guy, and all the guys that have a little quirkiness to him. How much where's the balance for you as a coach to, let him keep some of that personality, but also, hey, back a little. Is there a balance in there?
Oh, there's 100% balance. It's like I tell our players, emotions can take you too far over to the wrong side and you lose focus. And then the first time you get punched back in the mouth, the emotions drain you out. So the balance is, can we keep our energy and focus equal to our emotions?
Would you say Brian has a similar personality in practice, or is it like once he gets in the game he kind of flips the switch?
He's about he understands the switch. I guess I'll leave it at that.
What's the focus been like through these? Obviously you've got the doubleheader, that kind of surprised there, but just so many games right off the top in the first 2 weeks. How you felt about the way these guys handled all that?
Yeah. That's what we thought. We scheduled that by design. We knew we were going to have a lot of pitching. I added some games and flipped some games there, in the schedule to load up on the front end to make sure I could see what we had on the mound. We knew we were going to have a lot of guys too fighting. So, you'll hopefully this weekend you'll see everybody on our roster in that game from a position player standpoint. And we got to find out about some of them. We still, like I say, just because of what went down last week with the weather and the way that field played and so forth, we really didn't get the look we wanted at everybody, opening weekend that we had thought about and put on paper.